What up, friends? You know, I'm something of a genie myself, and today we're going to be reviewing Cherry Bullet's newest mini-album, Cherry Wish. This is the second mini-album overall by K-pop girl group Cherry Bullet. This group overall has been kind of a sleeper hit, I suppose. They're one of my favorite K-pop girl groups, but while quite a few of their songs have gotten pretty popular over the years, none of them have really reached like superstardom level of popular. Despite this though, most of Cherry Bullet's discography is pretty solid. They have an interesting synth-pop and dance-pop sound most of the time with a quirky twist every so often, but their last mini-album Cherry Rush actually kind of steered them more into a sort of throwback girl group direction. I like that mini-album a lot, and this one actually just kind of takes that sound and runs with it even further. A lot of instances on here actually sound like a modern interpretation of old American girl groups like the Ronettes or something, which is pretty interesting. They played with that sound a bit on the track Follow Me from Cherry Rush, however, this mini-album just takes their sound to the next level. The lead single, Love in Space, is largely a sequel of sorts to the lead single from their previous mini, Love So Sweet. It's a spacey and synthy love song complete with dramatic strings and a punchy beat. The immediate standout for me are those sort of rap vocal verses with really interesting flows over these billowing synths. The chorus itself is lively and bombastic, but has a sound that relates to the verse as well. The background vocals also add to the delicate atmosphere of the track, really feeling like pop on a space station or something. It almost sounds like a J-pop song in places, and the bridge does a great job in slowing it down and shifting the beat to add to the atmospheric nature of the track. I will say that it does sound a bit similar to Love So Sweet in terms of its structure, however when the songs are both so much fun, it's not the biggest deal. Now if I were to pick a weakest song on the project, it is Broken, however it's not bad at all. The intro is a bit generic with its simple beat and subdued guitar, however the track picks up as it progresses. The addition of the more lively guitar during the ends of the verses is really nice, and I think everything really comes together during the pre-chorus and chorus itself. The synths especially are super sweet and light, and they strangely remind me of Astro Man's theme from Mega Man 8, so make with that information what you will. It's like an EDM tune viewed through a synth-pop lens, which honestly works way better than it should. It does have its bland moments instrumentally, but the vocals are nice, and it fits the vibe overall. The lyrics are also kind of amusingly serious about love in contrast to the more happy-go-lucky instrumental, however in a way that kind of also adds to its identity in a sort of Sleeping Beauty sort of way. The next track, Hiccups, is when the old-school girl group vibes really come into play. That vocal sample is so catchy and interesting, and it's not something that you really see a lot in the modern K-pop scene. That sax is also very lively and quirky, and the little shoo-wop vocals are also really fun. They add a lot of flavor too. It almost sounds like more of an old school Mamamoo song than a Cherry Bullet song, but hey, if it works, it works. That last chorus as well is so upbeat and full of personality, not to mention the great vocals on it too. The way the track swells at the end, combining all of the elements that we've seen throughout the song, is also pretty incredible. This is probably my favorite song on here actually, and my girl Charon got those flows too. The lyrics about being the shy person trying to initiate a relationship are also pretty endearing. Next up we got Kaka, and that intro, man, it's so slick with its crunchy bass and Yuju's Friday Night line. Jazzy synths also add some nice texture to the track, and the flows in general are super smooth here. It's like we're in K-pop Vegas or something. It's also quite a throwback to some older K-pop styles too, which is pretty cool to see. The singing and the rapping are very seamlessly connected, and they surprisingly mix the synthwave pre-chorus and chorus with the more dance-pop oriented verses in a very smooth and clean way. I don't know how they managed to get that to sound natural, but they did. The bridge is also pretty chill, but without killing the vibe. I also like how the lyrics sort of continue from the previous track's angle, with the girls trying to find this confidence to get the person that they want. The last track on the album is My Boo, and the production on this one is insane. Like, what a closer. This also has a more classic American girl group sound, but taken in a more modern direction. It almost even has like a wall of sound aesthetic at points, strangely. That chorus is also really unique too, with its huge sax presence and emphasis on the background vocals. It's really fun to hear them interact with the main vocals like that. The transitions between the EDM and synthpop portions are again very seamless, and the vocals have a lot of personality and character to them. The attitude on this track is just top-notch. Charon's flows are very bouncy, and the way all of the members kind of come in near the end for one last hurrah is also really engaging. They all just contribute in a very fun way, and I think this track just shows how fun and whimsical synthpop can be. Now this mini-album was pretty interesting because it largely felt like a sequel to their previous one, Cherry Rush. They took that older girl group sound but refined it and added a modern edge to it. To be honest, I really dig this project. It's more focused than Cherry Rush was, while also expanding on the more entertaining aspects of it too. If this is the direction that the group is going to be heading in for a while, I think it's a really unique one. Practically nobody is doing the American girl group stuff, and even the retro pop concept is kind of dying down in the K-pop scene recently. This is a great way to give the group an identity after moving on from their video game concept that they had previously, and there's a lot of different directions that they could take this new sound. There are still some generic synth moments on here alongside some usual K-pop tropes that they fall into, and I guess the structure of some songs can be a bit too similar to like Love So Sweet and Cherry Rush at times, but when the songs are this fun, it's kinda hard to care about that. When so many new groups out there are trying to be experimental or out chasing trends, it's nice to have a group that's still just making solid and lively pop tunes from time to time. Overall, I'm feeling a light 8 on this mini-album. I think as far as this genre goes, it's a pretty solid example of it. Of course, you do have to talk about album covers on this show, and this one, it's serviceable. I kind of feel with this one how I did on some of Luna's older album covers, where like having the shot of the group is nice, however it's again kind of K-pop tropey as well. The color combination is pretty nice, having these sort of elegant and pastel like purples, pinks and blues and all that. It's very wistful and dreamy, however I just think the imagery is just kind of average, you know? I like covers that are more design oriented, so I feel like they could have taken their image and done a little bit more with it. But those are just my thoughts on this newest mini-album by Cherry Bullet. What do you guys think? Do you like this new direction they're going in? Do you think this sort of classic girl group sound is the right thing for them? Or are you kind of missing their video game concept that they had earlier? Let me know. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell if you wish for me to review more Cherry Bullet. And until the next one, farewell.